I get excited doing these unboxing videos for different reasons. Sometimes it's a lot of modern issues and I've got a chance at popping a ton of 9.8s. Sometimes it's a whole box of vintage issues, which, newsstand vintage issues are so hard to find. So those are always fun. This box that I got right here, this box is a little bit different. Every single issue, every slab in this entire box is a first cover. Kind of. There's one caveat, still a first cover, kind of, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm super excited for this. These are all first covers. The vast majority of these I've never owned before, so they'll be new to me. Some of them I've owned before, but the vast majority I haven't. So they're going to be new. 10 slabs, tons of fun. By the way, my name's Jim. I collect graded Sports Illustrateds. For those of you that watch these videos, you know the rules. I know what these issues are. I don't know what the grades are, so it is being revealed here to you on this unboxing video right now. Got a lot to go through, a lot of stories about these slabs here, and they're going to be a ton of fun. So let's get rocking and rolling with number one right here. All right. Now okay, so I didn't get my first Joe Montana cover that I requested, but I got a 9.2. What do you think of this? Newsweek. You guys know I've primarily focused on Sports Illustrated, but I do collect some Time magazines with athletes on them, and Newsweek is probably the only other magazine for the most part. I mean, I got a couple others, but I just thought this cover was so cool. So this is January 25th, 1982. This is... the preview for the Super Bowl, 1982, 49ers versus the Bengals. You got to think back, this is Joe Montana's first Newsweek cover, by the way. And you got to think back, 1982, right before they won that Super Bowl, that was San Francisco's first Super Bowl. Joe Montana hadn't won anything up until that point in the pros. He was the quarterback at Notre Dame when they won the 1977 national championship team, but he hadn't won anything, in the pros. So, Montana was widely regarded as the GOAT before Brady the last few years. Won 4 Super Bowls, 2 NFL MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He still has the highest Super Bowl quarterback rating career-wise than any other quarterback in history. So I love this cover. Let's go through the pops on this. This is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. There is an 8.0, 7.5, and some others out there graded. But I just thought this was such an awesome cover. I don't even know who that quarterback is for Cincinnati. Ken Anderson from Cincinnati Bengals, and Joe Montana from the San Francisco 49ers. So that cover is a ton of fun. It is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. And like I promised, they're all first covers. Kind of. I got the one caveat that we'll talk about here in a minute when it comes up. This is a good start. Good start. Next up. Just like that. Oh! Okay, so one good thing. Okay, so lots to talk about here. Trevor Lawrence. I own a ton of these. I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. I've got several at 9.8. I've got a couple at 9.6. This is a 9.4. Not great. I mean, this issue came out on January 14th, 2019. For an issue that new, you really want a 9.6 at least. I'm a grade snob. Sorry, I just am. I want a 9.6 at least, but what you're really shooting for is a 9.8. There are 12 9.8s, there are 10 9.6s, and now there are 5 9.4s. So tons of population out there in the census on this one. I am still a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. I believe he is that once-in-a-generation player like, Elway, like Peyton Manning, like Andrew Luck was before he got injured. I think he's going to come around even with an awful team like the Jaguars and all they've been through the last year or so. This is a cool cover. What I'm excited about with this, I'm going to try and see if you can get to see it. This is a huge breakthrough. Trevor Lawrence cover. So this is a variant. This is a 1 of 2 variant. Nick Foles of the Eagles was on the other cover that week. I am a massive fan of variants. I'm even a bigger fan of variants, first cover variants. So So this is Trevor Lawrence's first cover. It's a variant. It means it's more rare. Some of the issues were produced with Nick Foles on the cover. Some of the issues were produced with Trevor Lawrence on the cover. It's got to be more rare than if all the issues were produced with Trevor Lawrence on the cover. So I'm still a huge fan in this. 9.4, not my favorite grade by a long shot. I love it that this photo was taken during the 2019 National Championship game where Clemson beat Alabama. It's a great looking action shot of him throwing the ball. But the big thing is Trevor Lawrence cover. Now, what I'm hoping for is that they just didn't put that on the slab, that they actually broke this out separately in the CGC census. It's something I've been working on with CGC for a while, and baby steps with CGC, baby steps. But we made a nice move there. Okay, next up. Oh, this one's a little bit older. I always try and estimate as to what the age of the issue is based on the back there. That's a Bo Jackson and a Pepsi ad on the back. So I'm guessing this is like 80s or really early 90s. Oh yeah. Oh, this is it. Barry Sanders, first Sports Illustrated cover. Now I'm interesting. I'm disappointed at a 9.4 on Trevor Lawrence. I'm over the moon on this 9.4 Barry Sanders. And it's not even a pop 1 of 1. So let's talk about this. September 10th, 1990. I'm so excited. September 10th, 1990. Pop reports. There's one 9.6. Man, would have been great to tie that or even beat it. But I'm going to take this 9.4 because this is the second highest graded copy in the world. And there's only one of them. There's two 9.2s and there's two 9.0s. As you can see, massively condition sensitive. I sound like a broken record, but it's important. All of this black ink just screams out condition sensitive issue. So this one it's tough to find. Let's start there. Tough to find in a newsstand. Impossible to find in good condition because of all that black. Now the back really is easy because it's all white, but that cover's just got so much black ink on it that that ink's gonna flake off and flaws are just gonna come jumping out of there. I love Barry Sanders. I'm not going to call him the greatest running back of all time, but in my opinion, in my lifetime, the most exciting running back. And I saw Barry Sanders play a lot live. I lived in Detroit, suburbs of Detroit, in the late 80s, early 90s. I went to a ton of Lions games at the Silverdome, which, by the way, sat 80,000 people. And most of the games I went to, there was maybe 25, 30,000 people there because the Lions were terrible, just like they are today. They were terrible back then. But Barry was electric. I remember one specifically. So this would have been December 1990. I went to a Monday night football game, very rare for Detroit to get a Monday night football game, against the Raiders, which meant it was Barry Sanders versus Bo Jackson. And those two put on a clinic at running back. I'm a massive Barry Sanders fan. I could talk about this issue for 20 minutes, but I'm only 3 issues in here. I feel like I got to move on. This is awesome. Awesome. 9.4 Barry Sanders. I got the labeling. First Barry Sanders cover right there. Oh, this is great. And there it is too. A couple of dings on the spine. Right there. That's the guy that got me. And there's a little spine tick that breaks color right there. Those are the only flaws in the entire magazine. 9.4. Barry Sanders, first cover. Oh, that's great. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Gotta stay hydrated here. Okay. Got a lot to cover here. Gotta get moving. Next up. Oh. That's disappointing. Okay. So this is the caveat. This is technically not Emmitt Smith's first cover, but it is Emmitt Smith's first pro cover. So his first cover is not really good. It's kind of like a Heisman watch from when he was in college. It's got like 4 or 5 different small pictures of who was up for the Heisman that year. Emmitt was one of them. Not a great first cover. This is a much better cover. It's his second cover. It's his first professional cover with the Dallas Cowboys. This one came out on January 25th, 1993. So the pop reports are there are 3 9.6s. There are 5 9.2s. There's a 9.0. This 8.0. Not that great. Looks better than that. Man, that looks a lot better than an 8.0. Emmett's resume is, amazing. He's the NFL all-time leading rusher. He probably will have that record forever. That record will probably never be broken just because the way the game has moved to a passing game. He played 13 seasons with America's team, the Cowboys. Finished his career up with a couple seasons at the Cardinals. First pro cover, Emmitt Smith, 8.0. Kind of disappointing. Even more disappointing than the 9.4 Trevor Lawrence. It's a bummer. Again, this looks like a older issue here, maybe early mid 80s. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I know you guys recognize this issue. This may be the most talked about issue in our entire hobby these days because the 9.4 in newsstand of this issue just broke the all-time record for sale price for a graded Sports Illustrated, sold for $30,000 on Heritage a couple of months ago, which, by the way, I think that record's going to get broken this summer. Talk more about that in a minute. But this is Wayne Gretzky. This is his first Sports Illustrated cover. This is from October 12th, 1981. Pop reports aren't on it. There is a 9.8. Can't imagine what that 9.8 would go for today. There's the one 9.4 and there's two 9.2s. So let me go over that pop report again. There's one 9.8, there's one 9.4, and there's two 9.2s. That is a very, very thin population report at the top. For a massive superstar, the greatest player ever to play a sport, and his first cover. It's 40 years old. I've got issues that are 70 years old. So 40 is kind of in the middle. It's not super vintage, light vintage, call it. Tells you that this is a condition-sensitive issue. So it's almost impossible to find in a high grade. Now, why is that? Dark ink, we talked about that a lot. This is a super thick issue. And what happens on really thick issues, probably not going to give you a chance to see it here, but it puts a lot of stress on those staples, where the staples come in and you get staple tears there. Another reason that it's condition sensitive, this is a tri-fold cover. See, that gray band is not part of the cover. You open this up and there's an advertisement in there. It gives you a whole nother line where color break can happen. So really difficult to get this in a high grade. I'm really thrilled to get this in a 7.5. I've owned several copies of these. I don't have any right now. I had as high as an 8.5 and sold it to a friend of mine a few months ago. So Wayne Gretzky, first cover, 7.5. That's a good one. How often am I happy with a 7.5? I'm happy with that 7.5, that's for sure. By the way, I think so the Gretzky 9.4 that sold for $30,000 a couple of months ago on Heritage, that's the current record for any copy of graded Sports Illustrated. It's the highest price ever paid at a public sale. I have been told that there are a couple of issues that you'll see on Heritage this summer. I think in August, there's going to be a Mickey Mantle first cover at 9.0, and there's going to be a Muhammad Ali first cover at 9.2 that they'll put for auction. And I think that both of those will break that record. So I think we're going to have another record coming this summer, and I'll talk more about that as those get posted on Heritage and we get closer to that. Okay, next up, here we go. It's a good box so far. Good box. Oh, jinxed myself. Oh, shut up. What's wrong with me? Talking about how good of a box it is, and then I pull a Peyton Manning 7.5. I got robbed on this. There's no way that's a 7. That's in much better shape. I'm not going to get caught up in that. Let's go through the particulars. August 26th, 1996. First Peyton Manning Sports Illustrated cover. Obviously, he was still in college with the University of Tennessee. What's so cool about this is they do this little split screen thing here. This is his dad's Sports Illustrated cover. Archie Manning from when he was with Ole Miss back in the 70s. So they kind of do a little split screen here, kind of new and vintage. It's just a very cool first cover. It's a very cool first cover of Peyton Manning. I've always been a big Peyton Manning fan. He was an absolute rock star when he was in the league. He is still extremely high profile, whether it's, with the Manning cast and ESPN. There's talk of him maybe buying an NFL team. I mean, Peyton's just super collectible. Pop reports on this. There's one 9.8. I used to own that, and like an idiot, I sold it a couple of years ago, and it's probably worth 10 times what I sold it for today. There's one 9.6. There are two 9.4s. So 7.5, not great. Was hoping for better than that on Peyton Manning. And that's the last time I'm going to talk about how great a box this is before it's over. Okay, next up. Well, you knew there had to be a 9.6 in this box somewhere, just to piss me off. And there it is. Not the first time that this issue has shown up in one of my unboxing videos. This is Shohei Ohtani. It's his first Sports Illustrated cover. This is from March 26th, 2018. March 26th, 2018. This is a variant first cover. It's a 1 of 2 variant. The Yankees were on the other cover. By the way, that's Mike Trout with them. So just a little added bonus to Shohei's first cover. I'm a massive Shohei fan. He has made me a fan of baseball again, which I really haven't been, other than being a Cubs fan. I'm a fan of, Shohei's brought me back into the game. I watch Angels games because I want to see what Shohei's going to do. He's so electric on the mound and on the plate. Variant first cover. I love this. I own a ton of these. I own a bunch of them in all sorts of grades. I still got a bunch of them raw too. I'm just a huge fan. It is a difficult issue to pop a 9.8 because it's a black cover and that black is on the spine. And you've got some color on the spine on the back as well. So it's very condition sensitive. It's tough to pop in a high grade. They did not put first Shohei Ohtani cover on here. And they did not put the fact that this is an Angels variant. So this is just a disappointment all around. 9.6. No proper labeling on its first cover. No proper labeling on the variant. Move on quickly before I get agitated at that. Next up. Man, what happened to this box? Things were going well. Things were going really well. 7.0. Did I get my labeling? I got my labeling. This is where I'm at. When I get a crappy grade, I have to be happy when I get my labeling on there. First David Robinson cover. So at least I got that. Super, super rare cover. And in my opinion, this is a great cover. In fact, I think this cover is better than David Robinson was as a player. David Robinson was great. He was fantastic. He's one of the, he was on the 50 greatest players of all time. He was on the 75 greatest players of all time. David's great. There are plenty of other centers that were better than him, though. Wilt, Shaq, Kareem. Let's go through the particulars. So this came out on November 19th, 1986. The pop reports, there's 1. Now there's 2. They're both graded at 7.0. So this is a pop 1 of 2, none higher. Why there are only 2 copies of one of the greatest centers in NBA history that have been graded, I don't know. It is impossible to find in newsstand. It is almost impossible to find in good condition. Part of that is, this was the college basketball edition. Very thick issue. Again, put stress on those staples and you get a lot of tears there. So very condition sensitive. But look at him. Played for the Naval Academy. He's got his Navy dress blues on, holding the basketball, the big smile. Top Gun. That's the headline. This is a great freaking cover. So hard to find in a high grade. I'm disappointed in that 7.0, but I've got several others at CGC being graded. Hopefully one day I can pop higher than that. It's the first time I've ever owned this one. It is just a great looking cover. That's a great looking cover. Love that. Okay, what do I got here? Last 2. Let's go out on a high note. Let's do something fun and go out on a high note and pop some good grades here. Not one 9.8 in this whole box. A lot of these were from the 80s, so that's tough to do. Trevor Lawrence wasn't 9.8. The Shohei wasn't 9.8. Barry Sanders wasn't. Yeah, not one 9.8. What do you think? Maybe a 9.8 to wrap it up on one of these last 2? Let's do it. Oh, I knew this one wasn't going to get it. I'm happy with that. So that's your 8.0 Joe Montana first cover. Yeah, I do get my first Joe Montana cover labeling on there. So let's do this. We had the Joe Montana Newsweek. I should have prepared better for this. Let me dig that baby out. So let's talk about this, and then we'll look at all the Montana covers together. So this is Joe Montana's first cover. It came out on January 25th, 1982. Pop Reports, 19.6. I used to own that, sold it. 19.4, used to own that one, sold it. There are 4 9.0s, so not a lot. What are we talking about? 7 issues at 9.0 or above for one of the greatest, for the quarterback that up until the last 3 or 4 years was considered the greatest NFL player of all time. Very, very low Pop Reports on this one, so I'm happy with an 8.0. Joe Montana, Sports Illustrated. This is going to be tough because I got another one. The trifecta. That beauty. Now that was on an unboxing video a while ago. Let's see. So I fumble with all of these. All 3 of these issues came out on the exact same date, January 25th, 1982. All 3 of the biggest, most popular sports and news magazines in the world had Joe Montana on the cover on the very same day of publication. You've got the Sports Illustrated, you've got the Newsweek, and you've got the Time, and all of them are great covers. I just think this is such a cool collection that I've got here. Sure, I'd love to have back the 9.4, the 9.6 Sports Illustrated to go with my 9.4 Time, pop 1 of 1, none higher, and my 9.2 Newsweek, pop 1 of 1, none higher, but very cool nonetheless, and a ton of fun for one of the greatest football players of all time. That's cool. Very cool. Okay, one more left. I've been chatty on this video. We're running a little bit long for just 10 slabs. I know what this is. I don't think it pops a 9.8. I already own it. Be nice if I can beat that. Be nice if I can finish strong on this box because we've kind of been all over the place. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take that one. Better. Man, I've been trying like hell with this Rodman issue lately. I got an 8.0. I got an 8.5. Now I got a 9.0. So slowly getting better. I got my label. It was not on there on the last 2 times. So finally got my label right. First Dennis Rodman cover. Specs on this. This is May 29th, 1995. Pop Reports. There's a 9.6. And I'd love to know who owns that 9.6 because I think that's fantastic. Look at this cover. This is a great cover. He's got the red hair, sitting on a leopard print chair, the bird. He's wearing like a bustier or something. He's got a studded collar. I mean, Dennis Rodman was so much fun, and you guys know I'm a Bulls fan. Interestingly enough, when this issue came out, May of 95, he was still playing for the San Antonio Spurs. He didn't join the Bulls until right before the season started in October 1995. I forgot this, and I did some research on this before this video. The Spurs didn't want him. He was a disaster off the court, still performed on the court, but I mean, he was Dennis Rodman. He was out of his mind. He was crazy. The Spurs wanted to get rid of him. Nobody wanted him. The Bulls took him. The Bulls, this was a straight up trade. Will Perdue for Dennis Rodman. Will Perdue for the greatest rebounder in NBA history. Jerry Krause got slammed, as he should, in the documentary The Last Dance. But man, Jerry Krause gets some credit where he deserves it, and he was able to pull this off. He was able to talk Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan into, taking Dennis under his wing and making him a part of the team. And Jerry Krause traded Will Perdue straight up for the greatest rebounder in NBA history. That trade blows my mind. And Dennis produced 3 spectacular seasons for the Bulls and their second run three-peat. I love this cover. I'm a huge Dennis Rodman fan. This is the second highest graded copy in the world, and I'm just thrilled with it. Thank you for watching. These are a lot of fun for me. Comment and subscribe here on YouTube. Check me out on social media. More unboxing videos to come. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.